Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Kara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Kara Delane.
Welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark, everyone. And we have a special guest tonight, Ted.
Kara, we do. And look who is in with us tonight. It is Shon Kingrey, now with the Kaiser Automotive Group up in Wisconsin. Shon, good evening and welcome.
Well, good evening. Thank you very much for having me. It is a bit of a change. However, tomorrow it's supposed to be 70 degrees and 22 on Sunday. Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. Still holding up for a while, but that's good. Hey, all good news, Shon. Congratulations to you on the new gig.
Thank you. I'm very honored. I appreciate it.
I've heard that Kaiser has a great reputation. They're known for integrity, a wonderful group. So I think it's going to be a splendid fit for you. You're the right person for that. And Kara and I are very grateful for all that you do for fixed operations as well.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me. And thank you for having me on all the panels and all the shows. And we'll get into that in the show. We'll get into that in a little bit of what it's meant. But I can tell you that I've been here officially a week, and it's been a very good, strong week so far.
Wonderful. Okay. We're going to hear a little bit more about that. And we're going to also, Kara, I think tonight, hear a little bit more about Star Wars and Shon's affection for Star Wars.
I should have wore my Princess Leia get up for you, Shon.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yes. I thought I sent a text. I must have forgot.
Wow. Man.
We'll have to come back with another show with that, Shon.
Yes. That was a hit, by the way. You had a lot of good feedback for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
In the meantime, tonight's broadcast is live, Kara?
It is live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So hopefully everybody watching is commenting down below so we can bring in their comments as we go through the show.
Great. So welcome to our live audience. And our show tonight is sponsored exclusively by BG Products, Partners Beyond Products. They do a wonderful job for our industry. And BG is a big part of the Fixed Ops Roundtable in our community. So we're very grateful to them. And at our event next week, which is why Kara is wearing the mask, we're going to have, as part of that, Shon Kingrey, this might interest you, a special auction. And I know you all know all about it already, Shon. A special auction with our good friend, Bob Tasca, has autographed some very unique items, including a die cast of his vehicle. And we're going to be auctioning them next week at the Fixed Ops Roundtable event. So you're going to hear more about that coming up. And stay tuned for details. And BG Products is involved with that as well. So great news. And Kara, when is that event exactly? Good evening, Ray.
It's actually next week already, Ted. It is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wow.
That is going to be November 15th, 16th, 17th, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern time, everybody. We're going to be online. You can see some of the folks who are going to be on there. Liza Borges, Adam Aarons, and Tom Dahl are going to be joining us. Of course, Shon Kingrey will be there as well. And that's going to be a 3-day event and a lot going on at that event. So you do not want to miss it. Some great information. And we are in the process of getting ready for that now. So we're going to be unmasking cancer and a very great cause with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So all good news.
I'm going to throw a birthday in the middle of that week too, by the way.
When is your birthday?
The 16th of November.
Wow.
Really?
It is. I'm going to throw a birthday in the middle of all that.
Well, Shon, you look great and you look refreshed. And the Kaiser Group is very lucky to have you.
Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate it, Ted and Kara, and I appreciate all you guys do. I know totally myself and Ed, we tell you guys all the time, but we appreciate you guys do. We appreciate you guys putting fixed operations on the table, puts it forefront, and we'll get into that and why I picked this. And we might as well jump into it. So, I think everybody knows I was down in Florida for a good 5 or 6 years, and I had a really good run down there. I really, really did. And it got to the point I needed to find myself, and I needed to find out what my future was going to be. And again, Ted, you know this because Ted, I involved you in a lot of the conversations, and you were one of the first conversations. I took basically the whole month of October off, and I quite frankly, I cleared my head. And I'm going to tell you something that happened is when I was starting to interview, and I flew to New York, and I flew to Miami, and I flew to Charlotte, and I flew to Charleston, and I flew obviously to Wisconsin, and when I interviewed it with the Kaiser Automotive Group, I interviewed with there's 3 brothers that are now the owners, and 2 of the general managers from the 7 stores, and it was a 3.5 hour get to know each other session. We'll just put it that way. Okay, a lot of questions, a lot of feedback, a lot of pushing back and forth, and at the end of the 3.5 hours, they called me and they said, they said, hey, will you go outside because we want to talk about you? I said, well, I can turn my chair around. You can talk about me behind my back. I can do it here. And I stepped outside, and the person I called, by the way, was Ted. I called Ted from the Little Bar area, and I said, these guys are the real deal. And Ted told me at that moment, that night, then don't say no, because you know that's where you're going to end up. Yeah. And it was 2 weeks later before I made my final decision. And I flew to New York, and I flew to New Jersey, and I flew to Miami, and like I said, all the other places. And this was the fit. I knew that night that this was the fit.
Wow.
Love it. Hey, I want a quick welcome to Robert Sebastian. Robert, see you in the comments. We were just talking about you earlier today. So, Robert, want to have you on the show. A couple things in the works. Don, good evening. And I agree, Shon is an awesome fixed ops leader in the industry. So Shon, you felt pretty good about that opportunity early on.
I did. The 3 brothers, they each have a different role, and they all know their role. They know their position. And again, I know I'm not going to sell it, and I'm not going to pitch it anyway. If there's any technicians or service writers that need a job, I'm the guy to contact. But anyway, sorry. Guys, I'm going to tell you that Ted, I talked to you last week after my 2nd or 3rd day here, and I said this place is like legit. And I'm going to tell you, they had COVID in Wisconsin. We didn't have COVID in Florida. Okay, but this is an organization that paid every one of their employees to be off for 2 weeks, full pay. They didn't happen anywhere else. And then when they came back, if they didn't feel comfortable, they could take another 2 weeks off with pay. Wow. They didn't force anybody to come to work. All right. And that's a real deal. Ted, I was telling you, they pay 130% of door rate.
Yeah. Tell me that. Yeah.
130%. And right away, I was texting Tully and Ed and Marco, of course, and saying, is this real? I mean, I've never heard that before. Last Friday afternoon, I was sitting in my office with Shon Butler, the president. And I said, Shon.
Wait. This is Shon Butler in the comments too tonight.
Yeah. Shon Baxter. I'm sorry. I was reading that. Shon Baxter, the president. Sorry. And I said, Shon, you do crazy things for your people. I mean, and I can give you guys, I've got pages of stories already in my 1 week of being here. But I said, what you do wrong is you don't tell anybody you're doing it. I mean, you got to let it know, because nobody in the area knows that they give free boots for a year. The insurance is the least expensive I've ever seen. I mean, you're paying 130% of door rate. I mean, that's just stuff you don't hear about in the business. They do an employee luncheon. This comment's for Marco, by the way. They do an employee luncheon once a day. We had it today at the Chrysler store I was at. Yeah. And it's not pizza, by the way. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Marco was really adamant on the live event on
Marco would be really upset. Yeah.
Yeah. Marco always says, stop giving us pizza. Stop giving. Anybody can give $35 an hour. I'm working with the general manager at the store I'm at right now, talking about doing leases for technicians, free car leases. There's going to be some production. There's going to be stair steps you got to do to get there, but they're all about that. They're all this. And again, it is such a culture shock. And of all the places I interviewed, to go to some place that is 100% employee driven, 100%. That's all it's about.
And Shon, where is this Kaiser Automotive Group again? Because I know people are going to be wondering now.
Yeah, it's based out of Madison, Wisconsin. That's the home office. Okay. There's stores up towards Green Bay, but basically in Madison, there's 5 stores here, and then there's 2 stores north up of Green Bay. And when I say north, one of them's about 15 minutes west of it, and the other one's about 45 minutes north. So you're up there a little bit. That's where I was yesterday when you and I spoke.
Wow, Madison,
Wisconsin. You are going to freeze.
A little bit, but you got to remember, Kara, this is home for me. I'm originally from Iowa. Spent a big bunch of my career, obviously, in Minnesota.
Hey, so Marco's here. Marco's down below. Look at that in the comments.
What would Marco do? What would Marco do?
What would Marco do? Yeah,
that's right. So again,
I don't think he's going to Wisconsin. I don't. That's what Marco
will come up. I'll pay him to get to. I'm going to go to a Green Bay game this weekend. I think I'm going to go to the game next Thursday night. There's advantages to being up here.
Okay. Hear that, Marco?
Come on up, Marco. We'll let you come up.
So I drove there to Madison from Chicago. I did a round trip by car.
Yes.
To visit that dealer I mentioned to you, that Lexus dealer out of Chicago. I remember that trip. It was very nice in August. Okay, that was a nice time of year to
Right.
be in Madison, Wisconsin. But I can't imagine, Michael Moore, good evening.
Yes.
It does sound like a great group, right? I can't imagine what that's going to be like in the coming months, though, Shon Kingrey.
But again, you get used to it. You dress for it. By the way, I got to tell you, I found LL Bean this weekend. I've never been to that store. I probably don't need to go back to that store again. That store is expensive, by the way. But all I'm going to say, that gear better be warm for what I paid for that gear. But I'm ready. I am ready.
So, Shon, you know what I learned? You know what they have in Wisconsin that you don't see like here in New Jersey, and probably not so much in Texas as well. They have moose up there.
They do.
Shon Kingrey.
Real
They have
moose. Real moose.
Real
Yes,
moose.
they do.
Yeah.
And I was telling the story yesterday because the general manager in the store I'm in, he found a deer this weekend, not with his shotgun either, by the way. He found a deer with the front of his truck. It had $7,000 worth of damage. I said, when I moved to Florida 5 years ago, they talk about all these deer because there's all these forests and they have all these deer. Deer in Florida are the size of dogs.
Yeah.
Deer in Wisconsin are the size of cows, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. You hit a deer here. This is Marco just said no. Marco, we'll get you there, buddy. We'll get you there.
We'll buy you something other than pizza, Marco.
That's
Come
right,
on.
Marco. Get you a lease on a car.
And that might get. Hey, Marco, you're in the market. I know I've been working to set you up there, and I don't know how that worked out, but that might be music to Marco's ears. So,
Right.
Yeah, actually, I was in a service department, and that's how I encountered the moose, because somebody came in with a car where the moose, they hit a moose. Okay.
Yes.
And anyway, I'll spare Kara the details, but the moose are quite big. So, yeah.
And if you hit a moose, you lose, by the way, just for the record.
Oh, yeah.
You lose that battle.
They are big. They are big. In fact, you got stores up in North Dakota, right, Kara? Up at the.
Yes.
Oh, you're way up there.
Yep.
I was in North Dakota once, coming from Fargo, driving down to South Dakota with the Ford regional manager. I just did a workshop in Fargo, right? And we're going down the highway, and you could see there's nothing in front of us on the highway. It's North Dakota, Shon.
Right.
And there's this big creature crossing the road. I said, "Slow down! You're gonna hit that." It was a moose. This thing was a giant, Shon. Wow.
Big moose. It's good for the body shop business. We have body shops too, but that's good for body shop business. Think about it. Right.
Man.
So how are you going to adjust to all this now? You are like coming, Shon. You're coming like from the city there in Florida.
I am. So the house with the pool is going to stay in Florida, by the way, just for the record. The house with the pool will stay in Florida.
You could ice skate.
Good call, Kara. You know, it's funny, when I moved to Minnesota many years ago, early in my career, I moved into a place. I remember calling my father and I made a comment. I said, "Dad, it's got a pool." He goes, "Good. You can use it 2 days a year." Yeah, okay. There's But I got to tell you, Ted, there is a thing about being the Midwest nice thing. It's a real thing. And I did miss that because I ended up getting a condo and that's where I'm gonna live for the first 6 or 7 months. And I can't tell you that there's not one day I walk down the hallway. Hi. If you give eye contact, you're getting a hello. And yes, Marco, you can have deer steak when you come up to Wisconsin. We'll make you deer steak.
I think Marco's got to come up for sure. Yeah.
He does. Get him a plane ticket.
Wow. So how did these folks find you? How did you find them? How'd that all come about?
That's a Ted Ing story. They found me through you. And it's funny I was telling you, I think the other day, is every store I go to, and I've got 3 more stores to visit this week. Every store I go to, I saw your video. They found me through you. There was they had a headhunter that they had hired out of Iowa, ironically, Fort Dodge, Iowa, and he saw the videos. And long story short, that's how I ended up here. And when I sat and did that 5-person interview, it was all about the videos.
Wow.
Which one? Do you know which video?
Well, okay, so I knew you're going to bring it up. So let's just lead into that. Everywhere I go, the one video they watch, or one video they were told to watch, or whatever was fed to them, was the one-on-one interview you and I did last summer, which, again, we were talking to Kara about. The coloring was horrible because I was sitting beside a big window in Florida. Of course, it was sunny, but that's where the Star Wars characters were. So everybody thinks I'm this big Star Wars freak, which maybe I am. But
You are.
I am a Star Wars fan. I'm probably a Green Bay freak.
Ooh.
Wow. All right. So you were just on a panel with me. Was it yesterday we did a panel with
It was-
Tully? I think it was.
It was yesterday, yes.
So it's going to be at the Roundtable next week, Kara. It's going to be on Thursday. And we did a panel with our friend Ashley from Brook.ai. And first time we had Techion, the DMS, on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And you and Tully were involved in that. So I think that was pretty novel that we had Techion on the show.
It was. And I got to tell you where that driven was. And Tully and I were very focused on it. And we talked about NADA this year, and that's where Tully was at. And I met Tully there face to face. You go to the booths. If anybody's been to NADA, there's two different centers, north and south, and there's all these big booths set up, and everybody's telling you how great they are. All the action was around Techion. You couldn't get in because everybody knows what it is, but nobody knows what it does. Yes, they're web based, and I haven't had a lot of experience with it, but they're web based. And before I left Florida, we did a buy sell and moved off of Techion, and I got to see the reporting. But they're very customer focused. That's the key, and they're very big into integration and accessibility, and they're into being user friendly. That was the big part of the panel yesterday. Quite frankly, it was the whole part, and I don't think that's where the panel was supposed to go, but that's where the panel went.
No, I thought that was amazing. And there's another good evening, Paul. There was another interview earlier that'll be on Tuesday with Ed Roberts and Doug Ero from Longo Toyota. And they are a Techion dealership now. They launched earlier this year, and they're going to launch Brook AI as well at Longo Toyota. And there's some great integration going on with those folks. And Techion is to land Longo Toyota that's a big feat there, Shon.
That's a big boy store there.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
So that's a great conversation and a great segment. Shon, there's so many things coming up next week at the Roundtable, and you're involved in a as usual in a whole bunch of them. So
yeah, a couple of them. And it's funny is Carrie, you had your mask on earlier. I actually brought my mask to Wisconsin and I couldn't find it this morning. I was looking everywhere. I think I put it in storage. I really think I put it in storage. I couldn't find it. I really looked hard this morning too.
I know you have a Darth Vader mask somewhere. Though.
Okay. I was talking about just the eye mask. Yes, I do. Yes. It might have come up. It might have come out of one of the panels I think you and I did a couple of weeks ago.
There you go. I mean, Ed's been Batman. Just go for.
That's right. Yes.
That's right. Wow. So Wisconsin, the new gig, 7 stores, she said, Shon?
Yep, 7 stores. With expansion coming, and let me go down that road real quick. I actually met with the president on Monday night, and I asked him very openly because he's a very open, approachable guy. I said, "What's the end?" And hear me. And this is a long story, and I'll make it very quick. And he had a very honest and open answer with me. He goes, Shon, 5 years ago, I sat with my wife because I wanted $1 billion company. I wanted to hit $1 billion, and he goes, I knew what that was going to cost me, and I consciously made a decision that I wasn't going to give up. I was not going to give up my family. He goes, me and my brothers have a good thing here. They were gifted something that was very nice. His words, that we're making a very good living, and we have a lot of employees that are making a very good living. Wow. And he was very strong thought about it, that they're not done growing. There's more stores coming. We know that, but he doesn't need to be the big conglomerate. That's not what his focus is. His focus is genuinely people. And again, I'll say this one last time. My first day in this store last Tuesday, walking through the store, and Ted, I told you this on the panel. I can't tell you how many texts that was told by, I'm never leaving this store. Yeah. I'm never going to quit. This is where I'm going to retire. Wow. There's a very large amount of employees that have been here longer than 40 years, which again, in 10 years, guys, 5 years is going to be a problem. There's going to be a big hole here. But again, in my 28 years of doing this, I've never seen a store or a group that has so many people that says, I'm never leaving.
And good evening, Tony Owens and Robert Miggs from Carter Myers. Good evening as well. Shon, what franchises do you have there in Wisconsin?
So 3 Ford, 3 Chrysler, 1 GM, and a Suzuki truck.
And a Suzuki truck, wow.
They are big into commercial trucks up here. Really, really big.
Yeah.
This store has a big main shop, a big express lane, a very large truck center, and a body shop. But yeah, they're big into heavy duty trucks up here.
Well, the truck business goes on. Steve Westner, good evening. Steve is going to be with us, Kara, next Wednesday night. He's going to have a big panel on Thursday with Brian Kramer. You know Brian Kramer and Ed Roberts, right, Shon?
Of course I do. Absolutely. Been on some panels with him, I believe.
I think you have. Yeah.
Yes, I have.
How many Ford? You said 3 Ford?
3 Ford, 3 Ford, 3 Chrysler, 1 GM, and a Suzuki truck.
Wow.
They are definitely domestic driven. They are not import dealers, and and by the way, have no desire to be import dealers. Now there's Link. I should throw in there. There's Lincoln as well. Right next door to me, they're building a standalone Lincoln store. It's a big boy store, by the way. That for a standalone Lincoln store, that's new for me. That's a big boy store.
Good evening, Tiffany Kingrey. Shon, do you know Tiffany?
I heard her name once or twice. I don't know what happened.
So, Tiffany, good evening to you. We're listening in on what Shon is up to at Kaiser Automotive. So, congratulations to him and you and your family. And you've had a lot of stuff going on this year, Shon. You've had I think a wedding or two. Tell us about some family things that have been happening.
So family things. So for those that don't, I have 5 children. Tiffany has 3. We married off our 4th child he actually married a doctor. Good for him. Again, long-term relationship. They've been together since they were 15 or 16, and he's a computer guy. We got very, very, very lucky. Out of our 4 oldest that are married, we have 8 grandchildren. Yes, I know, 8 grandchildren already. And the scary thing about that, out of the 8 children, the 3 oldest are the only ones that have given us the grandchildren. So hang on, boys and girls. This is going to be a big family.
Ooh. Christmas at your house will be fun.
And by the way, no, Carrot, Christmas for the kids. There is no Christmas for the kids. There's Christmas for the grandkids now. The kids don't matter anymore. I've actually said that on a couple of the panels. And by the way, it's very, very true.
They've been replaced.
Yes, they've been replaced.
You're too young to have grandkids, Shon.
Yeah. Well, again, the big birthday next week. So this one's 51. I'm good. This 51. I'm past the number now. It doesn't matter.
Hey, Sticks. So I was talking to Sticks earlier today, Kara, and Sticks, your panel came out great, and we're working on a couple things for you there, Sticks. So you got a great segment coming up next week. So enjoy that. Sticks Brown did a panel, 9-person panel, including Tully and Ed Roberts. Shon,
wow.
How great is the only thing missing was you, Shon.
There's some energy. You talk about the legends. That's the energy panel right there, but that's it.
Well, he's the one who coined the phrase "the anchors." Sticks said that Tully and Ed Roberts are anchors. So Sticks, I agree with you. And great job on that. And been following all the things that you're doing, Sticks, and looking forward to a whole bunch more coming up here shortly. So great stuff.
So again, Ted, you asked. It's funny, and again, I'll start with the conversation. I say thanks to you and Karen, all you guys bring to the table. What's next for me is I had a meeting with Brook AI this afternoon. Brook AI is going to come aboard. I should have them on board hopefully by next week. I'm working out a deal with John Fairchild as we speak. Literally have a proposal in my inbox, doing some offsite training for the advisors. There's some huge room to grow. As many good things I say about the Kaiser Group, they're very variable driven, like most dealerships are. And they understand that the room for growth and the area for growth is fixed operations.
So let's talk about that, because there's a lot of uncertainty on the variable side going on in the business right now. We're all, hearing it, seeing it firsthand as well. How important, Shon, is fixed operations going to be now coming, after Thanksgiving into the holidays and into the new year in the early part or first part of 2023?
I think it's all fixed operations. We talked a little bit before we came on air. I was sitting with the used car director literally right before I came on here, and he talked about today how the used car market literally today tanked. Mm-hmm. And he's got cars that a week ago he was in good shape on, and today it's just ugly, and it got ugly quick. And we all knew the market was going to right itself sooner or later, and I think it's done it. There's no question the future. We can go to EV and whatever we want to go down. It is fixed operations. That's where the money's going to be driven. And the Kaiser Group saw that, which is why I'm here. I mean, that's the only reason I'm here.
How many technicians do you have in the whole group? Do you know?
I would say north of 120 total.
Uh-huh. Shon Butler is saying it's all about the people. Yes. Employee culture matters. Find their why. And Shon Butler, you're so right about that.
That book is sitting right behind me. Find your why. It's literally on my shelf. It's sitting right behind me. Find your why.
Love it. So You got a lot now. Not all the stores are in Madison, right? Which is like the big city. There's some outliers as well, right?
Yeah. There's some outliers. Which, so if you go 15 miles west of here, there's 3 stores out there. I was there today. Good stores, good little town. By the way, I think I found the town I'm going to live in today. Then there's one store that's east of us, which is in Watertown. And then, like I said, get on Highway 41 and go north, and just don't get off. And you'll find the other 2 stores, a Chrysler store and a Ford store up north.
Wow. Jeez. So just like you had before, you're going to have a little bit of travel, but maybe not quite as much this time.
Less air time, less air miles. Let's put it that way. Less air miles.
You were always going from store to store. I remember Kara talking to him on a Sunday. I know, imagine me talking to somebody on a Sunday, and Shon is on the lot in Alabama doing an inventory of vehicles on the lot on Sunday morning, Shon Kingrey.
Correct. It was during a buy sell. Yeah, you are correct. We were touching hoods.
Man.
Touching hoods.
Doesn't stop.
Nope, it does not.
Doing whatever it takes. So fixed ops is going to be important coming in.
Fixed ops is definitely the focus of this group that I'm with, obviously. It's the focus all around. I can tell you that I go back to all the places that I interviewed and all the places that I flew around to and the people I met. It is the focus of the automotive industry now. It is fixed operations. And Ted, that goes perfect into your roundtables, and it segues into all that and all the people and the links and the vendors that, listen, quite frankly, nobody knows about because they haven't had to know about them. They haven't, because variables carried the weight.
Well, that's going to change now, as we just said. In fact, Shon Butler and I were just speaking on the phone less than half an hour ago, and we were talking about exactly that, how much change there is in this industry from just 2 months ago, 3 months ago to now. There's a lot of new things, like you're talking about the used car market. There's so many more topics that we weren't even, some weren't even on the radar, back in September or even October.
Look! I know you. And I don't want to misquote it yesterday. When we had our panel with Brook AI. Yeah. They've been around a year, and whatever her number was and how many stores they're in was phenomenal. Who knew what Brook AI was a year ago? Nobody did. Thank you, Tully. Nobody knew what Brook AI was a year ago. Mm-mm. And now Brook AI is a name. I mean, it's a strong entity in the car business.
I put an announcement today on social media, Tully. And if you noticed, Shon, I said Sir Tully Williams is going to speak at the next roundtable. And what publication he's on the cover of, right now.
I heard Fixed Ops Magazine. I heard he has officially been knighted. Look at that picture.
And I hear that everybody reads Fixed Ops Magazine. That is like the most read publication in the industry. So congratulations, Tully.
If you're not reading it, you're doing something wrong.
Wow.
Especially with Sir Tully on the cover, you've got to pick it up and see one.
You got it.
Yeah, I could see that happening. So, Kara, I guess like even customers in the lounge can read Fixed Ops Magazine at your stores. So great stuff there. So
we dropped some off in the service lounge. So I've seen people picking them up. I've seen some old copies floating around too, even with your face on it, Ted.
Yes,
there's still some left with that. Okay, yeah.
I might have one of those in my collection. Ed Roberts has been on a couple of them.
Oh, Ed Roberts is like on every other one, right?
Yes, he is.
But I hear there's some new faces that'll be coming out next year, early in the year, Shon. So I'm looking forward to seeing who will be on the cover next and who will be knighted from Fixed Ops Magazine.
I am too. We'll have to get Kara on there soon too.
Oh no, that would be weird. If I read a magazine that I was on, that would kind of be weird.
That's all right. That's all right.
Hey, Shon Kingrey, that might happen though, right? So,
yeah, it's hypothetically possible.
If that ever was to happen, I would make sure I was wearing my Princess Leia outfit just for you, Shon.
That would be awesome, Kara. Thank you very much. Is R2D2 going to be in it too? Because there was a spot with R2D2 too.
I mean, I bet I could get him back again. He's
down
in San Antonio, so I'm sure I can make that happen.
I can tell you, right before I left Florida, I did add a few characters to my collection, though.
Oh my gosh. All right. And I guess they're heading north. So everybody, Shon Kingrey is going to be speaking at the Fixed Ops Roundtable next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's the Dare to Dream event. You're not going to want to miss that. Also on the roundtable, Shon, if I may, we are going to have a panel of legends. I hear, Kara, Les Silver, John Traver, Dave O'Brien. Look at this: Ed Roberts, David Boyle, Tully Williams, Jim Roche. We got to get you on that panel, Shon Kingrey.
I would be honored, sir. I got to be knighted first, though. I got to be knighted first.
Yeah, I suppose you do. Yeah. So
Yep.
in the meantime, this panel is going to be on the second day, which is Wednesday next week in the afternoon. So you do not want to miss it. Some great information there. And I know that went out today in an email, had a lot of feedback on that. So people are excited about that panel, including the people on it. So
Well, you know what's funny is when I talked to Tully about it,
yes,
Tully said he sat back. He said, "Let's took the lead." It was all
he did.
Yeah.
He was very good. He was, he was listening in, and he did have some commentary, but
Right.
Clearly there were others on that who needed to speak, and we all listened to them, Les Silver included. So
Yes.
So Kara, give us the details. When is the event? One more time.
Yes, it's next week, Ted. The big Dare to Dream Fixed Ops Roundtable on November 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's our 3-day virtual event. So if you haven't already got your complimentary tickets, grab them right after the show at fixedopsroundtable.com.
And Kara, some people have been asking, like, when is the agenda coming out? When do I know who's speaking at what time? And that's already online, everybody. If you go to fixedopsroundtable.com, that agenda is there. We might need a video for that, Kara. But you can go on there and you can see the agenda. You can see what panel Shon Kingrey is on, when the legends are speaking, when that Techion panel is coming up with Brook AI. So it's all there, including Tom Dahl. Tom and Liza and Adam are speaking at noon on Tuesday on day one. So you do not want to miss that. And Kara, I hear there's also a great panel from Reynolds and Reynolds coming up on the new cybersecurity safeguards rule. So something to see as well.
I know a lot of people are going to probably tune in for that one to make sure that they know everything that they need to be prepared for going into the new year.
Yes. So a lot happening. All right, Mr. Kingrey. So we're going to let you get back to real life. And thank you for being here tonight. Now, Shon, if anyone wants to reach out to you, would you put your email perhaps in the chat on LinkedIn and on Facebook?
Of course I will. Yeah, you can. Again, I'm on LinkedIn. My phone number is on LinkedIn. Ted can reach me. It's, again, my phone number for those that, and I know this is going to be re-aired. It's 850-490-3921. You can call me 24/7. I see Charles Ware's on there. Charles, a former leader of one of mine. I miss Charles a lot, but you can reach out to me at any time. It's s.kingrey@kaiseronline.com. I'm a 24/7 guy. Don't worry, Tiffany. They already know it's my birthday next week. So yes, again,
he told us. We know it's the birthday. The wheels are spinning. What we're going to do special. So
yeah, great. Because I'm not that guy. Just for the record, Ted, you know that. But again, yeah, it's s.kingrey@kaiseronline.com. I'm a 24/7 guy. You can call me 24/7. I'll answer. You have questions, I'm here.
All right. Sundays too, Shon?
Sundays too. Yes, Ted. Sundays. You tell me, Ted. Sundays. We talk a lot.
One ring. Yep.
That's it.
It's good stuff. All right. So we'll see you next week at the big show. And we're going to be back on Monday night, everybody. Monday night, we'll have one more After Dark before the big Fixed Ops Roundtable. Shon Butler will be here with Michael Moore. And also Daryl Terrell will be here as well. So we're looking forward to the trio returning. And Shon, thank you for all you do for Fixed Ops.
Thank you for having me, Kara. Ted, thank you again for everything you guys do.
Of course. Thank you, Shon. And I can't wait to see what is in store for you at your new place. So thanks for being on. Hopefully we see everybody at the Fixed Ops Roundtable Dare to Dream next week starting on Tuesday. But first, we'll see you on Monday at 8 p.m.